I was never the smartest kid. Um, when I was in primary school, I'll admit I was put among some of the smarter lot in my classes. Um, I'll say that, maybe like year five, year six, I was put in like the top higher sets, but it wasn't always like that, you know. I think it was in like year three where that actually started happening. Prior to that, I was I was getting the same grades as people who didn't even know how to read English. By the way, English is my first language, so that's not good. But yeah, thing is that I grew up most of the time being the kid who had, you know, above average grades. And then college came, and I drastically fell off. We're talking a fall off that has to be like studied. You know what I mean? I got into year 13, I think it is. Yeah, year 13 in first year of college, and no, that's year 12. Year 12, my bad. I don't know my years. I got into year 12, my first year of college, and my very first assessment was an accounting one, and I failed it. Very first assessment, I failed my accounting assessment, and I was distraught, if I'm honest with you, because growing up, at GCSE, I got still above average grades, even though most of it was below what I was expected. But I just blamed it on my handwriting. I'm going to be honest. Um, but when I got into college, my grades just started falling off compared to what I was predicted. And I realized it was because I wasn't working hard at all. And but then I started working hard. I started revising, but my grades still were not improving. I was stuck at this level where I wasn't hitting my minimum expected or my predicted. And it was just constantly like I'm not able to improve. And at this point, this is maybe like halfway through the year, I started feeling like, am I just dumb? Because I can't seem to improve here at all. I can't make improvements. I can keep trying constantly, over and over and over again. No matter how hard I revise, no matter what I do, I keep failing. And I'm not making any progress. And I just thought, was all those years that I thought I was just an above average smart kid just for nothing? You know what I mean? And then, A levels humbled me properly, right? I realized that, maybe whenever I spoke to other friends about this, they always told me, some people are just smart, some people are just dumb. That's just how it is. It doesn't matter how hard you revise, you just get bad grades. It's just how it is. And it was tough for me because whenever I spoke to people, people are like, "Oh, yeah, you learn quick, innit? You're smart." But if I look at my grades, they didn't show that at all. And I felt like I was disappointing people a lot if I ever told them the kind of grades I was getting because I fell off so hard. And then I started thinking, like, like this holiday, I was like, what the hell do I even do? My A levels are coming up next year. At the end of this academic year that's just beginning, I'm going to be doing my A levels. And then I'm going to be off, apprenticeship, university, whatever it is. I'm going to be going into that. What am I going to do if my grades are too low for me to be able to find myself a future? How am I going to be looking at other people who are getting much, much better grades than me, and they're going to be taking the jobs and the lifestyles that I wanted to build for myself and my family? And so I sat there and I thought, you know what? Let me just try whatever I can. Whatever kind of revision styles, whatever it is, I'll try and I'll just find something that works. Because I thought about it and I approached it similar to weightlifting. I know it sounds stupid, but hear me out, all right? In the gym, my personal sort of belief is that there's not one exercise that's better than all of them. For some people, when it comes to working out your chest, you do bench press, you get good results. For other people, such as myself, who did it for like a year, didn't get any results, didn't get good results at all. When I switched to the flat dumbbell press, I got results. When I switched to the incline machine press, got better results. And it's like that. It's like based on the way in which your body is sort of built, certain exercises are going to help you way more compared to the way it will help someone else. So take that into consideration. Maybe the same thing applies for learning. So I thought, okay, let me try that out. I start revising, and my revision technique became, okay, let me just start using past papers because I felt like that would work for me. Started doing past papers, and I would try an exam question, learn the revision material for it, learn how to write the exam question itself, and then I'd just start working on that. And I mean, to say the least, in the last few weeks, I've gotten done so much work, so much revision, and I'm enjoying it because I feel so much more productive. And I think that's what it is. If you want to become a better student and get the better grades and all of that, you're going to want to find a way to be able to get more revision done. A revision style which works for you and is going to help you get as much information in as you can and help you retain it. So for some people, maybe doing mind maps is the best thing for you to do because it just helps you get things into your head better. For me, mind maps are the bane of my existence. I hate them. I'm going to be very honest with you. I absolutely hate mind maps. I can't even write properly because my handwriting is so bad, and now you expect me to draw. I can't do that. Right? I've got beef with mind maps actually. But it's beside the point. Maybe mind maps isn't your thing. So just for myself, I hate them. But maybe something else is your thing. Maybe it is exam questions. It doesn't even have to be a full past paper. Just doing an exam question, an exam style question helps me get into the mindset of being in an exam better. Helps me understand the kind of questions I can get and how to answer them. How, what kind of information in particular I need and how to lay it out better in a paper, in a question. And through doing that, I've noticed my knowledge has become so much more better. So much more better. I can retain more knowledge. I can learn more knowledge. It's just way more better for me. And that's my biggest tip for you if you're going to want to improve your academic skills. Find a revision technique that works for you. Don't look at some other person's video and be like, oh, okay, so you gotta do mind maps. You gotta make revision cards and you gotta do this and that. All of that, great, works for you, fantastic. But you need to find what works for you. Maybe the revision cards will work for you, but the mind map's gonna ruin you. Maybe the mind maps, you're gonna do them all, color them in or whatever, but none of it's gonna get in your head. Maybe the flashcards are a great option for you because it just works for your brain better. You need to find a revision skill, a revision method that works for you. And that's the only way I think you're going to, or not the only way, but the most efficient way you're going to be able to get knowledge into your head. It's just, that's how I think of it. And I think even further, if you think that you're someone who's just naturally dumb, I don't believe that's true. I don't know who the hell you are. You're probably low-key dumb as hell, but that's not encouraging at all. But my point is that I truly believe no one in this world's born without talent. Everyone has a talent in something. That's my true belief. Maybe you're more talented in terms of something more sporty, maybe a particular sport, or maybe you're more talented in terms of, I don't know, a particular subject field, a particular way of learning, something. You're talented in something. And even if you're not talented in a particular thing, let's say for myself, I don't think I'm necessarily talented in economics. By far, I'm not talented in that. Absolutely not. Accounting, dear God. Two subjects which I have zero talent in, or at least had. Let me explain. I truly believe that in terms of academic skill, for example, you go into a subject and you believe you don't have the talent for it. If you work hard, it's not going to increase your talent, but you are going to become more skilled at the subject. So how do you increase your talent? By having a better understanding for both the way you learn and the source material that you're trying to learn. Here's the thing. I think the most powerful thing we can do as humans, or the most powerful ability we have, is the ability to learn. Especially when it comes to learning stuff in academics, we have an opportunity to use that power. And talent is something in which people think, oh, it's just natural, you know? You can just naturally do it, you're talented. All right, let's take let's take two people. One person's talented, they can just do, just get all the right marks, all the right subjects, whatever like that. Done. Khalas. Okay? And let's take another person. He has zero talent in this subject at all, gets zeros, gets ungradable, use every single assessment. This person's an idiot, right? Some people might call him an idiot. But he doesn't just learn the material, but he learns how to learn. He finds the method in which works for him, and he learns a deep understanding for the subject. A deep understanding for it. Not just baseline copying exactly what the textbook says. Understanding it and being able to explain it in a way where he can teach someone. He or she, the ability to understand it and explain it and break it down in a way where you sound like you're an expert at this subject. If you can do that, you're gonna sound like you're talented. You're gonna sound like you're the person who just gets all the straight A's every single assessment. And you were born without talent. Because I truly believe if you want to have talent, you can increase your talent. You just need to be able to increase how fast you can learn something, which you solve by finding the method you learn best with and by learning the source material at a deep understanding, which involves you learning the source material and trying to learn it in a way where if someone asks you a question, you can answer it. I even think about it, sometimes I'm learning economics and a question will pop in my head that has nothing to do with anything from the course. But because of that question and because I don't have the answer to that question, it makes it harder for me, basically impossible for me to understand the subject fully or the topic fully. Because I feel like I don't understand it because there's a question I have, but I don't know the answer to it. So I can't understand it fully. So even though the question has nothing to do with the actual subject, I'll still search up the question and get an answer to it, just so my mind feels at ease and so I feel like I understand the subject better. Because so much of what makes you intelligent and what makes you a faster learner, I truly believe, comes down to how much you believe you can learn something. If you believe that, like, I can understand this thing very well, I have a question though, let me ask my teacher or let me search it up, let me chat GPT it, you get your answer. And you feel like you have a deep understanding for the subject. And if you can then explain that to someone else, teach someone else, you're going to feel like you're a lot more smarter. And on top of that, you're going to be able to have a deeper understanding for it. And a deeper understanding for something contributes to what I believe is talent. So the whole thing, in my opinion, where it's like hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, I don't really like that saying. I think that hard work can beat talent. Straight up, just like that. That's the quote for me. It's not when talent doesn't work hard. It's just hard work can beat talent. But what happens if talent works hard? Then you increase your talent. Talent, so many people talk about it as just something in which is like, oh, it's just something you're born with. I don't believe talent is something you're born with. Yeah, some people do learn things at a faster pace than others. But you can learn something at a similar pace to this person, if not the same pace, if you work incredibly hard at trying to learn things faster. And I'm not saying you do this necessarily through comprehension, reading quizzes on Google or whatever, but you do this just by learning a method in which helps for you. This is why I constantly stress the importance of learning a method that works for you in terms of revision. So many people, when they revise, they don't know how to. And why is that? It's because they don't know what method they should do. They don't know if they should be doing mind maps, reading their notes, whatever it is, they don't know that. Then I stress to them, like, you know what, learn a method in which works for you best. Personally, question exam papers, the best thing for me. I can read over my notes immediately after do a question or an exam question on that, have a deep understanding for it, look at the mark scheme, know where I went wrong, correct it, perfect. I'll understand it greatly. You need to be able to find something which works for you. And that, my friend, is how you're going to be able to become an A-star student. And if you needed the proof from me, I don't actually have quite a lot of proof. I didn't get a single A star except for one, and that was in a single accounting paper. So I'm probably not the best person in terms of qualifications, but I work hard. And I currently have been on a great revision. I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not the best person to come to, but I can talk well, and I hope I've still managed to convince you to try this method, even if it doesn't seem like I'm the smartest person to do so, because I'm someone who is born with no talent, and I believe that talent doesn't exist, and you can improve your talent. This is the 7 a.m. guy, signing out.